This meeting is being recorded.
That's so funny that it does that. All right, this is Brittany here. I'm here with Bernie and Carissa, and we're doing our cleanse meeting on Saturday night. I actually received guidance to skip the past 2 days, the way that my days worked out, but we're still doing 9 channelings during this cleanse. And for those of you who don't know, this cleanse is actually kind of 11 days. It's 9, but to fully phase out, it actually takes 11. So I'll be channeling until the 11th day, and that will make a total of 9 channelings. It's funny. Sometimes I really can't find the words for things. So it's interesting when I do this. Alrighty, so I'm going to channel and let's see what the guides have to say. Greetings, dear beings. It is I, the energies and love of Asante, Germain. And I am so pleased to be with you all on this wondrous occasion, this beautiful evening, following the full moon, following you as you go through this journey into increased wellness, health, and vitality. I want to start by applauding each and every one of you for taking on this adventure. Healing is an art and a science. There are so many ways that you can approach it. And so that you want to share this experience with this being, with our energies, the energies of the spirit of compassion, and all the other beings, named or unnamed, that are with you all. This is a joyous experience for us. We feel increased connection to you all because as you go through this process, so much of the time in your day is dedicated to wellness, to up-leveling, and to raising your vibration. And so we are always a part of that. We are always with you, no matter what is going on. But really, the game here on earth is, can you hear us? Are you putting yourself in a place where you can hear us, where you can receive us, where we can fully contact you? And doing a cleanse such as this one, it creates so much time and space for us. All those little times you're making your spinach soup or your smoothies or grocery shopping for these very high frequency, loving fruits, vegetables, wild foods, and herbs. It is a joy to spend this time with you. And we know you all have other spiritual practices. And so it just adds on. It adds more time on for us. And that is really what we see the Course in Miracles as doing. It is adding and increasing your time with us. For so long, you each believed that you were separate from our voice. And now, through your love of yourselves and the love of this planet and the journey, and honoring that your soul took the time to incarnate here, you are now going into that place where you can really hear us. And this is a joy because we are one with you. And so this separation, although temporary and illusory, it feels so good for us when we are able to be fully received, where we are able to fully give, where we are able to be fully felt, heard, known, whatever your way of perception is. We just love it. We feel lifted up when you all take on journeys such as these. So we really just needed to take the time to appreciate and to honor your journey so far. 6 days in the scope of a lifetime. It's a beautiful dedication. And we know you are all going to the 9 and the 11 and possibly repeating. So we hear. And so today we feel that channeling is in the air. It is wintertime in the Western Hemisphere. And this is a time when all things slow down, when you see less people and you're spending a little more time indoors or alone. This is another time that we can commune with you. You see, so much of your lives are filled with meeting with people that are not of this, open to this kind of thing, to channeling, to speaking to source on a regular basis. And so much of your time is out with people that are quote unquote normal, that are not on this realm. And so you all are sort of switching back and forth between two different brains, the brain that operates in the quote unquote normal, more mainstream world where spirit does not really exist except through sort of symbolism and religions, as at least was this being's journey. And then you are coming back into your homes and you are opening up your mental closet and you are jumping in to spend time with us. And so without worrying about channeling or verbal communication, the first thing that we wish for everyone to do is to spend more time with us. Pretend that we are real, because we are real, but we know that because we are not in physical form, it doesn't seem that we are real, but we truly are. We are very real. So write on your calendar, 10 a.m. to 10:30, I'm going to be spending time with my non-physical guides and teachers, and watch the magic that we can work, because you are setting the intention. You are calling the shots, and that is what we need. We wish to train your mind because we need a mind that can direct us. We will not impose on your free will. So we help you to obtain objectives that are more loving, so that as you are the guide, our sort of consciousness that chooses in this incarnation, we get a leader who is in alignment with love and makes all decisions around love. And this is something we truly enjoy, because then we can really work our magic here on planet Earth, and you can see yourself as a divine being working your own magic. We are only here to help. Once you come into the full knowing of yourself, the full connectedness, you do not need to hear a voice, and you will not need to channel us, because you will just be in the knowing and in the present and in the now, and it will be so normal and natural that you will wonder how you ever existed in a separated state. And so we have many messages that we wish to share, but we always prioritize the ones that come with the energies that we are feeling in each moment. So tonight we would like to start by addressing this dear being, Bernie. We have been sending messages to this dear being about this channel's purpose and this channel's abilities in this lifetime. And so we say, words are symbols of symbols. One word can mean a different thing to every single person. Every word, every story, every image, it evokes within each individual being a different idea, a different meaning, a different flashback. And so one of the greatest ways that you can bring us through, and we are speaking this to you, dear Bernie, specifically, of course, Carissa, you can do this as well. But the greatest way that you can channel us is by your presence, is by your holding space, is by your example. And this is channeling. You see, when we bring words through, we bring words in with hopes of you all taking these words and bringing them down into the physicality, bringing them from the non-physical into physicality, creating from these words. You can, quote, sort of, quote unquote, skip the step of the verbal information, and you can bring us through with your presence. You can feel us and feel into each moment of every single day, and just be that peaceful being, that space holding being, that loving being who allows all others to see themselves in his presence. You see, when a being goes into nature alone, they do not have other consciousnesses to blame for what occurs. So when someone goes into the forest, they are surrounded by the trees and the animals. And when things occur to them, they cannot blame anyone else. They cannot say to anyone else, oh, this is your fault. If they burn themselves on their fire, if they don't catch a fish, if they can't build their shelter, there is this astute awareness that it is their consciousness, that it is their mind, body, spirit complex that is in the midst of a problem or a challenge. There is no blame. And so you can channel us just like nature does. It does not speak words, but it merely holds a presence. And that presence, just that loving presence in and of itself, it forces beings to reflect on their own consciousness, on who they are, on what they are bringing to the table. For you all, especially in the beginning of your consciousness journey, you are so programmed that a lot of times you're not even aware of the unloving actions, the sarcastic jests, all these little tiny resentment stories that are not so big anymore, because of course, through this work, we squash the big ones. You get really aware of those really quickly, but there comes a time when it starts to get really nitty gritty, like pulling knots out of hair. There's just this very much fine tuning. You are tuning a guitar, you got the strings, it's almost there, it's not quite right. And so in that nitty gritty time, what beings need is self-reflection. What beings need is silence and times to look at how they just played out that week or day or month of their life. And this suits the field that you have gone into, dear Bernie. This is so apparent, and we just want you to know that you are already channeling. You are already bringing these energies through. And your presence, you hold a very grounding, a very big field of energy. And whether or not the words ever come is not a worry to us, for we will use you however we can. And we just want you to know that there is no pressure in that realm. You will find when you feel relaxed and when you feel really tuned into the presence and energies and space that you are holding, that the messages will come through and already are. The greatest lie that the ego ever told you was that you could doubt yourself. Every message you get that is of the vibration of love, that is channeling. Everything is channeling. It is just a matter of what radio frequency you are tuning into. Are you tuning into the resentment, guilt, hysterics channel? Are you tuning into the sad, melodramatic, benign, about the world channel? Or are you tuning into love? Are you tuning into the Holy Spirit's thought system? Are you tuning into all the possibilities that are around you? Everyone is channeling. There is nothing original. All has been created and ended, and time is real and not. And so that is why we always come back to the present moment. There were many times this being felt sad and unsure about her channeling abilities. She did not feel that they were coming or ever would come. And then she learned that she had already been hearing the voice. She just did not realize that that is what it was. It was just the loving guidance. It was just the feeling into the energy of a situation, getting quiet and allowing what information comes. No matter what voice it's in. Is it of a loving nature? Is it of a kind nature? Is it of a forgiving nature? Does this information assist the beings that are around or the environment that she is in? Or does this information create chaos, create resentments, or any kind of ending of relationships? This is really the hardest part of channeling, is figuring out what station you want to tune into. We do not care so much about our names. We love the identity of Arcturian Council and Asante Germain for what they represent in this human world is most closely aligned with the energies that we are. But know that most of what we bring through is to help the beings on the planet understand. We come in the form, in the message, through the being that people can understand. And so many beings cannot understand this form of channeling. This being has so many family members and friends that have not seen her channel and are not ready for that. And so it is in the presence that you can reach all beings. You do not need to bring through any sort of person, identity, or energy in this manner. For some people are not open to it. And so, of course, we knew that when we all crafted this great plan of ascension and bringing love to this planet. So we said we need beings that are going to be able to reach all beings. And so many beings who are not quite 100% open yet, they may not be able to receive us in this way, thinking this being is crazy or schizophrenic or some other mental issue that she may have. But they cannot use their ego mind to distort a presence because they feel it, because there is nothing in the way. Of course, many of you can feel us when this being channels, but if your mind has a distortion or a block around channeling, then that will put it right under the rug, sweep it right out of the way. It is so easy when you're first transitioning to see one little thing and judge it because you're still so closely attached to your ego, as you planned when you came into this incarnation. Your egos serve a beautiful purpose to allow you this experience. And your inner self, your higher consciousness, is now at a point where you are ready to move forward from this experience. And that is why you each have interests in these spiritual experiences, channeling, energy, healing, cleanses. And so it is all good. And so the Holy Spirit, the higher frequency energies, we come in all forms. And it is essential for the ascension of this planet that beings are not the same. We need to reach everyone we can so that they know they need no longer suffer, so that they know that they can come back into the loving, warm cauldron of unconditional love, and that they can stay there and live out their experiences in a body from that vibration. So know that just by walking this earth as an example, you are all channeling us because you have chosen to tune into the higher frequency. And we thank you so much for that. And just you doing this cleanse and telling other beings or the people you run into, why can't you have a cheeseburger with me? A friend asks. Because I'm doing a cleanse. That is a place where we can drop a seed. You've channeled us. Thank you. Congratulations. We want more than anything for beings to know that they can heal themselves. We want everyone on the planet to know that there is no thing on this plane that can block you from living a joyous and loving life. There is nothing that you must do but to heal your mind, and in the suits that follow, you will want to cleanse your body. You will want to feel better because you will finally know what feeling better is. Show people what feeling better is. Many do not even know. They have been in the constant cycle of this heavy life for so long that they don't even know what it feels like to feel really good. And you will show them that. You are already doing an amazing job. You are already creating ripples that through the events of time that are to come will create little lifelines for those beings that are still much more ingrained in the 3D world. And when their ship starts to sink and when their consciousness starts to become aware that not all is well on this planet, they will think back to cleansing Bernie and cleansing Carissa and channeling Carissa and all these beings who are going to sound healings and energy healings and working on their life with coaches and et cetera, et cetera. And they will say, I could do that before I was not ready, but I've already seen this path walked by my friend. And so I am less scared already. This time you are all blazing new trails that have not been walked on this planet in a long time. So honor that process because it's a bit harder when you're the one clear cutting. It's a bit more intensive. There's more blocks because you're going to face them first. You're not going to have those other people that will have already showed you how to get through them. You're going through them first. So just remember, you're taking that on. You agreed to take that on. So allow yourself more time. Allow yourself more patience and forgiveness when you feel like you're not moving forward as quickly as you want. You are breaking trail, and this is a hard thing to do. We love you all so very much. We thank you for your focus, your attention, your energy, and your beautiful, clear bodies, minds, and souls. Know that you are always going to have us with you, and there is nothing to worry about. You're already doing an amazing job. We will speak to you, beautiful beings, and all the rest out there on YouTube land at another time.
Thank you. Wow.
All right. Thanks. Bernie, I'm going to pause the recording unless you have something to say and you don't mind it being on YouTube.
Oh, I'm just so thankful. Thank you to the guides. Thank you.
Oh,
Got a almost have a tear in my eye.
oh, yeah. Well, they've been really wanting to say that. I've thought of it every time I get in the shower. I channel so many times in the shower. I'm like, I mean, they didn't tell me that whole message, but I got little bits of it, and I was like, oh, cool. And I used to just tell people, and now I've learned to like let them bring it through because they tend to bring it through a lot nicer. Well, sometimes that's the way I need to communicate with people, but obviously you're very open to channeling. So, all right, I'm going to just pause this recording for YouTube. Thanks for everyone who was listening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.